I'd actually like to engage you in the conversation and the complexity that we've got at hand here, this notion of smart power. It was mentioned that just a few weeks ago I had an opportunity to sit, and it really is a kind of a testament as to what this new equation is all about, with the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of State, side by side, talking about this civilian-military mix. In a speech and in several subsequent comments, Secretary Gates has said, his words, "We cannot kill or capture our way to victory." I know you've heard him say that.
I've heard that somewhere before.
And he said this in a speech actually before the group here. What the Pentagon calls kinetic operations should be subordinate to measures to promote participation in government, economic programs to spur development, and efforts to address the grievances that often lie at the heart of insurgencies and among the discontented from which terrorists recruit. The groups you have to deal with when it gets too late, I think it's safe to say. Doing that on the ground, explain to us how you're doing that and how you're working with civilians side by side. Some of these things the military is doing on its own, some in partnership. How do you draw the lines and the boundaries? What do you pursue?
Well, let me just talk about it in the context of Iraq. When I was the commander in Iraq, and we had one of our country's greatest diplomats ever, Ambassador Ryan Crocker, was privileged to have as a diplomatic wingman. Truly an incredible individual. We were very much partners, and we, before even meeting, we decided that we were going to work together in everything that we did, and we decided that we were going to convey to our respective organizations. He would do to the embassy, I would to the multinational force in Iraq, which was somewhere around 165,000, about a like number of contractors. That cooperation was not optional. In fact, we went around looking for examples of how we could show this, and we did find one or two individuals who doubted that we really were true to our word, and so, of course, we took that established. Well, you know, I'm sure they like Greenland a lot. But anyway, the idea was that you have to have a comprehensive civil-military approach, and we had a civil-military campaign plan, not just a military campaign plan. And that was interesting because the folks above us, it starts to get back into stovepipes, and they used to ask occasionally, you know, why does your mission statement have all this stuff about these civilian things? And I said, well, it's because it is rightly a civil-military effort, and we decided that we're going to have a civil-military campaign plan, and we did. And we tried to do everything together. Whenever either of us had a meeting with Prime Minister Maliki, we generally went together. Occasionally, we would literally change chairs. He would, you know, let's see, this is Prime Minister Maliki. If it was my meeting, I'd start out in this chair here, he'd be there, we'd have a translator there. If I decided that, okay, I'm all done with what I needed, and I knew he had a couple of items, we would literally change chairs.
In the middle of a discussion?
In the middle of a meeting. And that was the kind of partnership that we had.